Good morning, Year 7 and Year 8, and welcome back. I hope you have all had a restful half term. I know that Miss Riley has been taking your lessons at the start of this week, and that she will be reading you your story. And then in the last two lessons of the week, you'll be with me and we will be working on our writing skills. So we're aiming for mastery in writing. And I'd like to welcome you all back to my virtual classroom, where you can see me there and my dog Ted. Okay, so let's get started on today's lesson. First of all then, let's make sure you've got everything that you need. So you're going to need to have some lined paper or an exercise book. Okay, that's really important. But you have a pen or a pencil, something to write with. You have a ruler for underlining your date and title, and you may wish to have a coloured pen or pencil for marking your answers too. So a different coloured pen for self-marking. Do you want to make sure you've got all of those things now? So pause the video if you need to, get your things together, and then press play when you're ready to start. Okay, brilliant. Let's make a start then. So the first thing I want you to do before we get going with our activities today is to be ready. That means that I want you to set up your page just like you would in the classroom. So make sure that you've recorded today's date, our title, and you've underlined them both with a ruler. You might want to use the acronym THUD just to remind you that our title, handwriting, underlining of things and the date are a really important part of presenting our work really neatly. So pause the video and make sure your page is set up just like mine. Right, that means we're now ready to start. So let's have a look at our task for today. What will you be doing? So the first thing you're going to be doing is looking at using the words was and were correctly. So we're going to be fixing up some sentences and choosing the right word. Then we're going to look at pronouns. So we'll be looking at the subject in each sentence. And then finally, we're going to focus on using the simple past tense. Okay, so 3 activities to do, and you need to carefully listen and follow my instructions. Okay, so let's get started. Get your pen in your hand ready to go. Okay, let's look at the first task. So we are here being asked to fill in the gaps with either the words was or were. So we're going to have to read the sentence carefully and decide which word would go there correctly. Then we're going to write that sentence out in full and add the correct word. So there's a tip here. What it's useful doing is thinking about whether there's one of the subject or whether there's more than one. So if you have one thing, the word is likely to be was. But if you have more than one thing, then it's going to be were. So let's look at the first one together. On Friday, the weather, something, very gloomy. Just say it out loud first. Which word would fit there? Is it was or were? Tell me on 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay. On Friday, the weather was very gloomy. So I'm going to write that sentence out in full, and then I'm going to write the correct word in that place. Okay? Over to you. I want you to pause the video and work through sentences 1 to 5 in your book. Off you go. Okay, so only restart the video here if you've completed your 5 sentences, and I'm actually going to set a little extension activity. Now, as you know, we are crossing over our Year 7 and Year 8 lesson, so I would suggest Year 8s particularly, these extension tasks are really useful to you, okay, to give it that extra bit of challenge. So look at the extension task at the bottom in blue. It's saying, can you write 2 or 3 more sentences of your own which use the words sopping, shivering and squelched. Okay, so you might choose 1 or 2 of those words and have a go at writing some sentences of your own. Year 7, you're welcome to have a go at those extensions too. Absolutely, push yourself, but they are definitely there and designed to boost Year 8. Okay, so pause the video if you're having a go at the extension, guys, and then we will go through and mark our answers in just a moment. Okay, so now coloured pens at the ready, please. Let's get marking. So I'm going to go through and write in the answers here, and you're going to check your work. If you've got it right, tick it. If you got it wrong, fix it. Okay. On Friday, the weather, we've done this one, haven't we, was very gloomy. Okay, and we're going to tick that one off if you got it right. The clouds, something grey. They looked angry. Okay, well I can see here that there is an S, so that means there's more than one. The clouds, so it has to be were grey. They looked angry. Give yourself a tick if you got that one right. Well done. Drops of rain started to fall. Now, this one's a bit trickier. It starts out with drops of rain, so it looks like it could be more than one. However, in the second sentence, it focuses on each drop individually as a one, so each drop. So it has to be was. Each drop was heavy and cold. So that was a potentially more tricky one, so check your answer and then fix it if you need to. Number 4, the man, something out in the rain. Okay, so you should have looked here at man. There's only one man, so that is going to be was. And you can check it by reading it back through. Does it sound right? If I said the man were out in the rain, straight away I can start to hear it doesn't quite sound right. The man was out in the rain. Yes, give myself a tick. And finally, number 5, he, something under his umbrella. So was or were, well, there's only one he, the pronoun here refers to one person, one man. So he was would be correct. And I can give myself a tick. Finally, I'm going to go through and check I've either ticked or fixed my answers, and then I'm going to track through and give myself a mark out of 5. Okay, can you pause the video and make sure you've checked and corrected your work before we move on? Right, let's go. So the next task then, I've given you an example here actually. Here is my sentence using the word shivering, just so you can look at your extension sentences. So I put, after playing out in the snow, the children were shivering, and you can see that I was careful there to use the correct verb choice. Okay, let's move on. So this one is just an example, so please don't write anything yet, listening only. Okay, so I've got a definition at the top in the top box. Make sure you can see that. The subject of a sentence is who or what is doing the main action. So we know that every sentence must contain a subject. So we're thinking about what is the person or the thing in that sentence. So you can see in my examples, the subject has been underlined in all of the sentences. So I'll look at each one. Number 1, Daniel munched his lunch. Can you see here that Daniel is my subject, so I've underlined it, because he is the one who is eating or munching his lunch. In sentence 2, the rude man ate his chips from Sasha's plate. That's not okay. Can't just take people's chips. So, in this one, it's not just the man, but the rude man. So that whole noun phrase is my subject. I must underline it all. In number 3, the pencil was sharp and strong. So this time it's not a person, but it is a thing, the pencil. And again, I must underline the whole phrase to identify the subject. Okay, what I mustn't do is just underline pencil. That would be wrong. It has to be the pencil. In number 4, the boy fidgeted in his seat. You can see the subject is the boy. In sentence 5, he felt sad and alone. Well, this time the subject is being referred to using a pronoun. So we would underline the word he. And in number 6, the children decided to go to the park at the end of the school day. So in this case, the subject here is the whole phrase, the children. So can you see here that we are trying to identify the subject, okay, the subject of the sentence, the thing or the person that is doing the main action. So I want you to have a go at this on your own this time. Let's go. So you are going to write out the sentence in full, really carefully, and then you're going to underline the main subject in each sentence. So you're going to pause the video and have a go at that independently first, and then in a few minutes we'll mark our answers together. Okay, challenge is on. You've got 5 sentences to write and underline the subject. Off you go, you can do this. All right, so coloured pens or pencils at the ready for marking this time, please. Let's go through our answers together. Oh, I've forgotten my extension again. Okay, extension first. So the extension here is to write a sentence of your own using this subject. You can see the subject is quite long. Okay, the man with a very short temper. So I want you to write your own sentence using that phrase. Okay, let's make that a 2-minute challenge. 2 minutes only, pause the video and write your sentence. Okay, now we're ready to mark. Okay, so I am going to go through each one with you. So number 1, let's read together. The blazing sunshine beat down on the swimmers. Okay, so here actually the subject is the sunshine, but we have to include the whole phrase. So it would be, excuse my wiggly line here, the blazing sunshine would be correct. Give yourself a tick if you got that right and fix it up if you need to. Number 2, the peach looked fresh and juicy. So the subject here is the peach. Give yourself a tick if you got that right. Number 3, the boy felt very proud. Okay, well done if you identify that the subject wasn't boy, that would be incorrect, but it must be the boy, the whole phrase. Number 4, Jamie and Mike went to the cinema. Well, in this case we have 2 subjects. We've got 2 people named. So we're going to underline not just Jamie, but Jamie and Mike. Give yourself a tick if you got that correct, and fix it if you need to. And finally, chocolate is delicious. Yep, I agree. So my subject here is chocolate. And the last thing you need to do once you have checked your answers, ticked and fixed, is give yourself a mark out of 5. Okay, you are working really hard here and we've got one final task to do. Oh, look, there's my example sentence. The man with the very short temper shouted when he couldn't find his car keys. I look forward to reading your example or extension sentences. Okay, so quick test of your knowledge so far. No pens for this, no writing needed. I want to know, deal or no deal, in which box is the correct subject. So, what is the subject of this sentence? Sarah passed a note to Jamil. So who is the subject? Is it in box 1, is it Sarah? Is it in box 2, a note? Or is the subject in box 3, Jamil? Okay, you've got 30 seconds to decide. Off you go. And you can call it out, you can say it out loud. Okay, only 10 seconds left. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's check our answer. Okay, you can see here it was Sarah. Sarah was the subject. Well done if you guessed, if you knew that box 1 was correct. Okay, pens in hands then for our final task. So we have a rule to apply this time. The rule is when you put actions in the past simple, you are saying what happened, not what was happening. Okay, and in fact, for my year 7 class, we did quite a lot of this practice last half term, where we were looking at correcting the sentences to say what happened and we call that the past simple. So, for this task, guys, you do not need to write out full sentences. You can write the numbers 1 to 6 in the margin, and then next to them you're going to write yes or no. Okay, so we can shorten this task down. We don't have to rewrite the sentence. So, let's read them. Aruna played lots of tennis. Now, I need to say, is this in the past simple, yes or no? How will I know that? Well, I need to look at the verb. So what is she doing? Well, Aruna played lots of tennis. Now, is this in the past tense? Well, yeah, actually, because it's telling me it's got an ed ending. Yeah, she played. This is what she had done. So I can say yes for number 1. Let's look at number 2 together. Now, is this the past simple? The class was working hard. Now, if I look at the verbs was and working, the ing here doesn't tell me it's in the past. In fact, it suggests it's in the present. So it can't be the past simple. So I have to say no for this one. And if I want to, as part of my extension task, fix the sentences so they are in the past simple, I can rewrite it. So the class was working becomes the class worked. So I can write the word worked. Okay, over to you. I want you to work through each sentence and tell me, is the sentence written in the past simple? Yes or no? And as an extension, can you fix any sentences that are not in the past simple? Pause the video and complete that task now, please. Okay, let's do our final bit of self-marking, so different coloured pens at the ready. Wonderful. So let's go through. What did we say? Aruna played, we said that was yes. The class was working hard, we said no. The sisters enjoyed. In the past simple? Yes. The sun shone. Ah, okay. So this is a trickier one because the verb shone is irregular. We can't put an ed ending on it, okay? So we need to work out what's the difference. So something in the present tense would say the sun was shining. So the sun shone, yes, that is the simple past simple. Mum and Dad were dancing. Were dancing? Is that past simple? No. In fact, if I want to fix it, I would use the verb danced. Okay? And finally, the road looked bumpy. Okay, well, yes, I can see that that verb is indeed in the past simple. So it was just was working, worked, and danced that needed correcting. Okay. Check your answers and give yourself a mark here out of 6. Well done. Okay, so you have done some excellent mastery English practice today. Well done. I would like you to send either your work to me or if you're in Miss Riley's class over to her because we want to see what you've been doing. And you can upload that straight to Show My Homework. If you can't do that, you can always send it to us via email and our email addresses are there at the bottom. Okay, really well done for today. It's been wonderful working with you all and I look forward to tomorrow's lesson. Bye, have a good day.